Good morning, everybody. A principle that was introduced to me by John Kempf in one of his interviews on his podcast channel was when you walk your crops, trying to pay it a bit more attention and keeping your eyes open and trying to make observations. So I'd just like to introduce you to an observation I've made this week. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday morning and I'm out for my morning dog walk, and I just wanted to share a thought with you about our experiment. This is X Flowers wildflower mix, and as you can see there is a lot of trash laid down. All that we didn't top it, we just glyphosated it and then planted through it, standing with the moor, and then it's been rolled afterwards. And I will go and have a look at that wheat later on, but I'm just really pleased with how the rows of wheat have come through, and it just struck me that maybe I've missed a trick. I can certainly see how this certainly provides weed suppression. It's a wonderful blanket. I can also see that it retains moisture. We've discussed before the American scheme of using rye, but going to that previous example from last week, I wonder if we're going with that cultivator to establish the cover crops in the autumn, just stirred it seems to stimulate the volunteers. Why not just let the volunteers grow and then roll it down as per the example? It would save the money from having to invest in the rye seed because we're using the volunteers. It struck me that it could also save me the nuance on the timing of the glyphosate. Instead of having to spray stuff off in the spring and wonder if the timing is right, I could just let the volunteers continue to grow, drill when soil conditions are right, then get the sprayer to come back and glyphosate afterwards. It just struck me as a slightly more weather resilient system. Similarly, if I retain that big canopy, then if I get a difficult spring with lots of rain events, it wouldn't, I'm just going to get a bigger volunteer, which would provide more weed suppression. So it just struck me as a bit more of a resilient system, and I just wanted to share how encouraged I am by the wheat establishment in this wildflowers. Of course, it's important to note that this wasn't topped, so this was drilled into a standing crop. It's only a small area, I'm not kidding myself, but it's just worthwhile experiment. And we're saying that we've managed to get the flowers drilled at the beginning of this week, and that's all been rolled, and should be safe now. Had a little bit of rain, I think it was 5 mil this week, so continues to be a moist summer, and we have the potential for an exciting harvest, I think. We're in this spring wheat, quite a lot of wheelings here. We've used, because it's close to my farm buildings, we do most of our demos out here if we're going to pull something through. So I think this particular field has had 4 weedings now, and it's only just received its micronutrients, so I would expect the variance in colour, mostly from magnesium and manganese deficiency, to improve in the coming week now that it's had its micronutrient application. We also gave it, I think, 10 kilos of foliar Ren at the same time. But overall, I'd say it's relatively clean, and it's established well. It was pretty late drilling. This was the field that we started drilling with the moor. The headlands were drilled with the moor, but the middle has been drilled with the Claydon. We simply couldn't finish it off. Good morning everybody, Sunday, and this is the spring wheat light land that we had the digestate spread on in the spring. As you can see, coming along really quite nicely now. It is in the AB14 low input spring wheat, so it has had, this particular one has had near enough a full nitrogen application, but it is much reduced on its chemicals as per the requirement, so it can only have Eagle on it, but otherwise it's interesting. Definitely the light land grows less weeds. These are also part of the weeding trials, so we've had quite a significant I think 2 or 3 passes of the weeder, so really pleased with this so far. Off to look at some winter wheat on light land. So we're in the winter wheat now. As you can see, it's looking really nice, coming on nicely. So this is the track. We just let the digestate spreader run down the middle of the field. As you can see, it's almost exactly in the middle of the field. But the alternative would be to come down the far end, and that's a little bit wet and we were worried about the damage. But 2 observations I have from this field. I think despite a strong PGR program, the wheat's looking pretty tall actually. And we had an FMA meeting this week, and this will probably sell the straw from this. But it's interesting that this farm that we run relatively conventionally, we were reviewing in the farm management meeting what our plans were as far as straw strategy, and the owner of the estate wants to sell the straw. But it was quite interesting when it came to the carbon trading. Last year this farm actually was a net emitter of 0.75 tonnes, so we didn't get any payment on this, even though we grow cover crops. So going forward, I mentioned that, well, if we are going to move to more cover crop, to trying to generate income from carbon, we do have to substitute bagged artificial nitrogen for organics, which is one of the reasons that we've moved. I'm being attacked by a puppy, which is one of the reasons we moved to digestate in this field. So it actually led to quite a discussion about farm logistics, and we're probably going to be putting in extra tracks here to try and facilitate more digestate. So a bit of interest, and I think I can definitely see slight colour difference. We've taken a sample, so we'll send this winter wheat off to Dr. Melcher to see what her assessment of grain protein will be, and whether we need to come back with some sort of nitrogen top-up, ear wash nitrogen top-up. It's X days, so in a year when there's not much winter wheat, it would be nice to try and get it to as close to milling as possible. Alright, thank you very much for watching this week. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and click on the little bell to get notifications of when our next video goes live. See you next time. Bye.